Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're well on this fantabulous Friday. And speaking of fantabulous, you're looking fantabulous. And I'm going to get straight into the meat and potatoes. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, as we've only got like 13 days till Christmas. 13 days. 13 days. I hope Santa Claus brings you exactly everything that you want. Anyway, someone who may not be getting what they want this Christmas is Erica Kirk, because the battle is on. We know that. The battle is on between Candace Owens and Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk has come swinging out of the blue corner. Stop talking about my husband's death. Don't be asking questions. You evil people, you evil people. While simultaneously forgiving the very person who apparently murdered him. But there you go, each to their own, each to their own. But Candace Owens has come back swinging out of red corner. And she's saying, I'm not going to stop. Didn't think she was going to stop, to be fair. But Candace Owens asked a question, which we're going to listen to her ask, because I feel that this one question is the most important question of all. The question that justifies the questions, that justifies the behaviour of people, when that could indeed include Candace Owens herself. And look, I have been critical of Candace Owens, and I will continue to be critical of Candace Owens if Candace Owens continues to just bring more and more stuff out without offering complete tangible proof. I appreciate, however, that not everything she says is likely to be able to offer up tangible proof. It's just the nature of the beast. But we do need to, in my opinion, get somewhere where we can start to connect the dots and see a much more clearer picture. We all have different ideas of conclusion, I think. Would some people be happy to just have a conclusion that isn't set in stone in the law, for instance? You just have it on the back burner. The Tyler Robinson plays out. Tyler Robinson is potentially found guilty. Maybe he's executed. But you're happy that that happened because in the back of your mind you know that that wasn't real, and this is really what happened in the background because Candace told you. And she offered enough to satisfy. Some people will be happy with that, some people won't. But she did ask this question, and listen to the question. This is what she asked. We're going to go over to this screen. Hello, Candace.
Okay, I will be very honest. I am in a bit of a mood today. I am just annoyed with everybody. I'm annoyed with this entire psychological operation that is so obvious. And I just feel like we keep going round and round in a circle with the government. You know, whether it's COVID, the Ukraine war, it's like the entire media apparatus and establishment is joining hands to condemn people for having common sense. So I'll ask you a question to begin this. Do you feel, show of hands, okay, that the answer regarding who killed Charlie Kirk and what happened on September 10th is quote unquote very clear? Objectively. Like, even if you are somebody who is on the side of those who do believe that Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger one way or another, would you ever describe what happened as quote unquote very clear?
And that's the question. That is the question. And I suppose I'll put it to you guys. Whatever side of the fence you're on, like Candace herself said, whatever side of the fence you're on, whatever you believe. If you're somebody who doesn't like Candace Owens and feels that what she is doing is wrong, if you're one of the people who feel that if we question Erica Kirk that we're disgusting people and we shouldn't be, how dare we question the grieving widow in her morning pants while cuddling people and running her fingers through their hair. Do you know what I mean? That is a very valid question. Like I say, perhaps one of the most important questions. Does the story, does the narrative that's being pushed make sense? Does it make sense? We've had I must admit, I didn't know that there was as many tactical experts on YouTube as there seems to be, but some of them do offer huge credibility, and we've seen a vast amount of money also being spent on some of these mock-ups of that day. We've heard people who have used these type of weapons, this type of ammo, in varying varying scenarios, and they don't ever seem to produce the outcome that we saw the day that Charlie Kirk died. And we've laughed countless times about their explanation as to why we got the outcome that we did, and we somehow landed on that Charlie Kirk is the Man of Steel, which I don't even understand. I don't know how that would hold up in court. I really don't. But Charlie Kirk is the Man of Steel, hence why his spine, his neck vertebrae managed to stop a catastrophic injury, because it just sort of bounced and ricocheted and changed direction, all that jazz. Tyler Robinson, who you don't really see, apart from he was in court yesterday. Now, it might be that on Sunday I go over that here, and they're trying to see whether we're going to actually get to see the trial or not see the trial. Subsequently, TPUSA have themselves come out and they have said it's very important that this is made public and there is transparency, which is the first time since Charlie Kirk's death that they have said something that I actually agree with. I think that they couldn't really say anything other than that. I think if they supported the hiding of it, then that would not have gone down well. So they've probably trying to score some brownie points with the public, who knows. But no, back to the question is, does this all make sense? Does it tick all of the boxes? You are happy that what you've been told is the true story, and it all makes sense to you? Because if it does, then I can understand why you've probably got certain frustrations towards certain people. But if it doesn't, if there are elements to it that you think don't sit right, or like I said at the beginning of this video, you aren't somebody who would be happy just to see Tyler Robinson potentially secretly go through the judicial system without seeing it, without hearing it. I've said to you before, they were literally at one stage looking to do it in his absence, so he wouldn't have even gone into the courtroom. So if all this has happened, and then at the end of it they just say, yeah, he did it. He did it, and he's going to be executed for it. Would you be happy with the entire process? Do you think that is a good thing? Because I don't. And I did say this yesterday. I believe that the American people deserve a transparent judicial system. I believe in my heart that anybody who is looking to be placed into the potential to lose their life or lose their liberties for the rest of their life, then the public has a right to determine whether the evidence is all above board and everything that's been done has been done properly, and the outcome is the right outcome. And at the moment, it hasn't been done. Now, we do have a trial, and I'll hold my hands up and say, look, we could go to trial and every question could be answered. Every bit of evidence could be shown. But there are indicators that that's not going to happen. Early doors, we saw that there was multiple people around this supposed shooter, all messaging all over the internet, speaking like they all knew, they were all sort of collaborating in it, that we got told that there were people meeting at the house and there were notes being read. There was scenarios where bullets were literally being carved in the lounge while the other person was there. Can you remember when I was carving on them bullets? Do you know what I mean? But we've seen no other arrests at all. Nothing, despite the FBI, Kash Patel, seemingly suggesting that he had done investigations into TPUSA, multiple other entities, but there was no proof or evidence that there was anything other than just this lone gunman scenario, which, look, some people will believe, some people don't. But I think you do have to dig deep and ask whether this question, what Candace Owens has put to you, where you land with it. Because if you land in a situation where you do have questions and it just don't make sense to you, or there is even one thing that don't sit right, or the potential for where this could land, go, and how it gets there, you're not happy with that, then surely you've got to offer some support to those who are still asking questions. Because mainstream media, legacy media, they are controlled opposition. And in this situation, Candace Owens at the moment has been painted out to be the villain who is currently attacking the poor defenseless widow. And that widow is not poor and defenseless. She's an incredibly wealthy individual who has made a conscious decision to get into the very chair, this chair, of her husband who lost his life. She is spending time away from her children while she has decided to take on the position of CEO of Turning Point USA. And that was a conscious decision. She has been asked if she is scared, and she has said no. She laughed it off. And all of the choices she has made are seemingly her own choices. So there you go. And there's even people like Tucker Carlson who have come out and said, look, if people are coming from a place of authenticity, they genuinely believe that there are things wrong with this case, then let them ask questions. Why should we stop people asking questions? And on that note, why would the widow of someone who has been killed be so hateful, righteously hateful, towards people who ask questions? Does she really look at what we've seen and think that there is nothing dodgy about it whatsoever? Nothing. She just believes the FBI story. She believes Tyler Robinson did it. She believes he did it on his own. She doesn't believe that these planes were flying overhead. She doesn't believe anything. And she's willing to just ignore everything, despite her own family's sort of being embroiled in military contracts worth billions and all sorts of jazz. Let me know down below where you sit with it. Love you all. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I will catch you a little bit later. Mwah.